Superman.
Are you talking about Elvis?
So dramatic, those romanticists.
Oh, it's awesome. They'll probably terrible that we're talking over it.
The kind of music that makes you want to march into battle.
I love the timpani. That's probably the only instrument I could play. I love the organ. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night. It is Sunday, March the 1st, 2026. The reason I played it is I just got back from the new Elvis movie put out by Baz Luhrmann, who's from Port Macquarie, Australia. And if you want to hear more about that, listen to today's audio chat, which I haven't posted yet, mainly because I'm going to move the domain. I was supposed to do it today, but I got lazy again. I'm waiting for it to go down to see if anyone notices. That's the real truth. I'm waiting for fakeologist.com to go down. It's not down yet. I didn't pay March, and it's still up. So obviously they're hoping I pay. I'm not going to pay. I've already got a new space, but I just haven't moved it. And I'm kind of worried that it's not going to move properly. But then I think, does it really matter? Is anyone going through my archives anyway? Is anything in the past really relevant or researched? I'm not sure. I'm not sure anyone likes to go back into the website at all in any way. So I'm not really sure if it's worth it. I do have the database, and I will reconnect it. But anyway, I watched the Elvis movie. It was Elvis in concert. Baz Luhrmann is from Port Macquarie, Australia, where Rick is from. And he said that guy's family owned a movie theater, and that's probably why he became a big movie director. And the movie was pretty good if you're an Elvis fan. Oh boy. Was that the door closing? God.
Sorry.
Wow, that was like a boom. That was a booming noise. Even though you installed a new queen mattress on the wall.
A little heavy-handed with the door.
Yeah, you might want to mute when you do that. But
next time.
Anyway, so Elvis concerts always opened up with Sprach Zarathustra. That's how he opened his shows. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, that's how he opened his shows. It says here it's the theme song of Space. What is it? Space Odyssey 2001.
Yeah, right.
Did I watch that movie? I don't remember. It's too long ago. So that's yeah.
Kubrick was involved.
Right. So that's why I played it. If anyone's really interested, that's why I did that. So we can get right into the show if you want. That's enough of the intro, I suppose. Enough me.
Sure. We got some more fake art today.
Let's do some fake art.
I'm not sure if that's the right adjective for the art, but anyway, misunderstood art at least.
Okay. We got about an hour, so we'll do about an hour, and then I'm going to try and work on the website and try and move it tonight. So if you can't get at fakeologist.com tomorrow, you'll know I screwed up. So
okay. It was down sometime last week.
It was?
Well, I couldn't open it. It was under, I don't know, construction or whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, that was, I didn't know. I don't know when it goes down, honestly. I get an email sometimes, but it doesn't. I don't get any emails complaining if it is down, which tells you something. No one's looking.
Right.
But hi, Peter. Peter Shea's in the house. Peter the Prophet, he calls you. Prophet with a Profit. I don't think he's got any money, though, really, Pete Shea. Pete Shea is Je suis dodo.
Yeah, the pun is intentional, but it's also a joke, of course.
Yeah, the prophet of fiction.
I guess those people they profit from all their fiction and lies. But
Well, should we talk about today's fiction real quick? Because people do like relevant stuff.
yeah, and I touch on it sometimes.
Yeah, actually, I've been posting on FAK12. FAK12, by the way, will not go down. It will not go. Stop it! Stop! Why do you? I hate autoplay. Wait, where is autoplay? I got to turn that off. Auto. Wait, I'm gonna YouTube. I'm gonna see if I can turn off autoplay on FAK12. I don't even know how to turn it off. It's my website. Auto. Why is it on auto? What does that mean? Auto.
Auto
Well,
Bismarck.
that's auto quality. How about autoplay? Where the hey ho is autoplay on my own website? Does anybody know? Oh God. Why? I hate autoplay. Whoever invented autoplay should be eliminated from this planet.
Yeah, your what was it? FAKO2 was doing that for a while with that one
Mute
video
site.
that was there.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So what's the relevant? Is it Iran and the U.S.?
Yeah, I'm gonna show Iran right here. Iran. So Khamenei was killed, but he's not even the leader. Where did they?
Yeah. And
What's going on?
how did he get so pale? He's
Yeah.
always pale, really, but okay.
Why do they have to kill a guy? Do you think if you kill one guy, that
That solved the problem. Yes, of
yeah,
course.
this guy I liked, Aminejad. He was a real good, funny character. So they're saying they got rid of him too?
Yeah, they like to cut off the imaginary heads of the serpents.
Like all I saw were smoke fires that looked like someone burning leaves in their backyard.
Is Peter a flat earther? Yeah,
Yes.
99%. I have a couple questions, but
Yeah. Oh, it's just Sweet Dodo was asking if you're a flat earther. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sycamore. It's next to the closed captioning. Okay, thank you. Where's closed captioning here? Sorry, I got to turn that off. But you can start talking if you want.
about Iran and
Oh yeah, that's why I wanted to bring up Seiko too, because I put some of your videos up.
yeah, I've done two on my
The
own.
Mexican cartel comedy, very good.
Yeah, only a literary.
Carnival comes to Tumbler Ridge, also very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I should allow you to have upload privileges on FacoTube. So if you want to sign up there at FacoTube, I'll give you upload privileges. You just put them up there.
Oh wow, thanks.
I can't give it to everybody because I have to pay for the space. So you are definitely a preferred member at FacoTube. So if you want to upload stuff there,
Right.
you can. But you got to sign in first on FacoTube.
Right.
Maybe Peter should talk about Leonardo da Vinci.
I did last week.
Yeah, he did. Did you not listen? Je suis Dodo Bird.
Yeah, you missed that one.
But anyway, so this guy was a great comedian. This clown, Aminejad. He was a 9/11 truther, which of course I guess is anti-Semitic. And
I think he also spoke about geoengineering, dehydrating his country.
Right. He was the most extreme. He just said death to America. That's what you do. That's it. What else did he do? What was extreme about that? And look, wow, that's the end of the story. It's 3 paragraphs. That's the best. Well, he didn't even get a couple paragraphs. You got 3 paragraphs.
That's
wow.
Together. Oh yeah. Okay.
So he was under house arrest, but he had a bodyguard. Okay, and a bodyguard, but he was on house arrest. That's interesting. This story is pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to add to it?
I'm so immersed in my own work. I just finished reinterpreting the Zodiac. That was wild. And just before getting on the show today, I was just doing last touches on the Baphomet painting of King Charles.
Okay.
But
that's the one in red.
Yeah. So that's the end of today's presentation. Um, I'm just overwhelmed with work and responsibilities here, and there's just a new event, of course, almost every week. So hard to keep up.
All right. Well, you're doing well then. You got lots of customers, and that's great.
Yeah, thanks.
Ohio newspaper letting AI write stories.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, maybe they already been doing it for a while.
I suspect, yeah.
And Telegram, Pavel Durov and the shaky future for tech libertarians, princelings. I don't even sign into Telegram anymore. Are you on Telegram?
For 2 days, maybe I was.
Yeah, I was on there for a while, but I'm not there anymore.
Um, yeah, it was all the rage when people
During
who,
COVID, yeah.
yeah, people believe that things are, one platform is safer than another, and it's encrypted, and no one can spy on you. Forget it. It's all controlled, people. It's all controlled. So
Mhm.
start to get comfortable being listened to and not caring.
Yeah. Okay. So is there anything more about this, or is this story going to be over before it starts?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I did. What did I see? Uh, a city in ruins, or just a block, a quarter of a block in ruins that could have been anywhere in Palestine,
Yeah. It could have
Cyprus.
been anywhere.
Yeah, and it looked like, as fake nukes points out sometimes, it looks like no one ever lived there because there were no bicycles, no cars, no sign of laundry, whatever, just concrete.
Hmm.
So could be just a stage if it's not AI. But yeah,
Yes.
that's art too. There's a kind of art there, the art of deception. So
CGI art, you mean, yeah.
yeah, and since I'm presenting art today, and the flat Earth subject too, so much of the NASA pictures are paintings of
Yeah, oh yeah, they admitted that because it was easier to stitch them together. They said they couldn't get a high enough to take a wide angle shot because they don't have wide angle lens in space, I
yeah,
guess.
yes.
So they had to stitch them together. So it's all art.
Yep. Well, let's start with George Seurat, the rat.
George Seurat the rat. Go for it.
Yeah, famous painting. Sunday afternoon on the island of La Grande Yate. I don't know. Um, he was the foremost proponent of pointillism. Oh, that would have been annoying to paint with little dots of paint.
Pointillism.
Yes, every image is painted with points of paint, tiny points. Um, I don't know how many there are in this painting, maybe 1 million. Again, there's a little testimony of madness there. Who would want to do that? Do we respect people who paint that way? What is the point, you might ask? But enough of the style, the method. Look at the content.
Mhm.
What has he done to us? The working class, the bourgeoisie, maybe, are here. They don't really look alive. They
No.
all look like statues.
Statue is statue? Is statue over there? Little joke.
I didn't quite get it.
All right.
Um, the two animals down below here, they seem to be alive. Nice of him to give them the breath of life, but the rest of these characters, um, some of them hardly have faces, uh, and they're all facing the same, just about all facing the same direction, like lemmings. I was gonna. What are they staring at? What's out there? Flat water? Are they all brain damaged? No, I guess this is how they view us, as things out there. We're not quite human. I
Mhm.
think that's what George Seurat's message is here.
But when was he an artist?
Ta-dum. This was painted sometime between 1884, 1886, just around the time Nietzsche was writing his Thus Sprach Zarathustra, the Superman, because, we're just animals right now, and he was dreaming about the Superman. Um, Van Gogh, everyone knows. And this one, Starry Night. Oops. Beloved by many because he cut off his ear, supposedly. Depended on his brother to support him, supposedly. Well, I've called this chapter Van Gogh's Distortions. Seemed like an appropriate name for just about any art painted between 1880 and 1940. I don't know. It overlaps with abstractionism, so there's a lot of impressionism, fauvism, expressionism, cubism. Missing one or two, maybe. These art schools or schools of art thought always distort reality, distort nature, distort humans, and somehow that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of gimmick, really. It's, of course, you need some skill to do this, but it boils down to a gimmick. I like to say that art needs to stimulate thought, not just, gawking and ogling, googling.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be thoughtful, look for patterns, and that's what your platform is trying to do.
That's right.
And that's, for a long time, I've held the opinion that that is what art should do. It should stimulate us to think, to look for patterns, to ask questions. And really, art does not do that very well. And it's not intended to. It's just intended to impress.
Mm-hmm.
Impress by presenting a distorted reality, as the media does too. Hey, look, another nice connection. Distortions of reality. Picasso, this one deserves a bit of thought, but the conclusions it brought me to are not pleasant ones.
Okay.
Or not
More
fun.
cannibalism.
Pardon?
More
Cannibalism.
cannibalism.
Even before I was onto the cannibalism theme thread, it was not nice. So this is supposed to be painted in memory of the people who died during the Spanish Civil War. Just a bit of background. That war is quite special because allegedly anarchists were all over Spain, creating anarchist communities, converting towns and villages into anarchist communities. And there was a lot of excitement and jubilation about that. Communists were also involved, but apparently they were a minority. Maybe they were undermining the work of the well-intentioned anarchists. And who was the ruler at that time? Franco something. He called in Hitler's troops, called in a favor, came in with tanks and planes, slaughtered supposedly all the anarchists and some communists. Not only that, but the freedom fighters, the anarchists, were supported by foreigners who supposedly just flew over there to support them in their stand against the heavily armed troops of Franco and and Hitler,
Mm-hmm.
which sounds crazy, but anyway, they say thousands came, including from people from Canada and U.S., other places in Europe, um, and they say it was a bloodbath. Again, of course, I'm doubtful, but uh, it really appealed to me as a younger man. It sounds like the only war that was worth fighting. Um, well, what did Picasso do with it? This is supposed to be honoring the dead, mourning, I suppose, the victims. But when I started looking closely at it, I thought, what is this? This doesn't look quite right. And starting with the eye like sun at the top, it looks a bit Illuminati to me. It has a light bulb in the center.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's the Illuminati eye for sure.
Yeah, and they're not really into sunshine, real sunshine. So it's got to be an electric bulb in there. Um, let's see. I think I'll read a little bit because it's a bit complex. Um, Pablo Picasso dehumanized women, portraying them as baboons in Women of Avignon, famous painting. His Women of Algiers series has a pornographic overtone, but is not unique in the Cubist genre. What art critics miss is the fact that Picasso's Cubist mania chopped women into pieces. There's a bit of cannibalism, I suppose. The Algerian women's bodies are fractured and marked by severe lines at their joints, as if a butcher had drawn lines for his cleaver. Was Picasso a monster? Surely not. He commemorated the Spanish Civil War in Guernica. It tells us about the horrors suffered by people in a Basque Spanish town named Guernica. But does the painting express sympathy? Can a painting of pain express sympathy? To express sympathy, shouldn't the artist portray people helping the wounded? And shouldn't the artist paint himself helping or weeping? But even such images can be lies. The only real way to express sympathy is to help the victims of war and act to prevent future wars. That, however, did not interest Picasso. He was busy painting pain. Guernica tells almost nothing about the Civil War. It erases the war's ideological basis and censors the fact that it was, reputedly and reportedly, fought with overwhelming force and Nazi support to stop good people from freeing themselves from an abusive government. If Picasso were a man, he would have hated the Spanish dictator Franco and his German conspirator Hitler, and he might have been brave enough to caricature them or to depict them seated on the corpses of women and children, while Nazi planes and tanks shattered the bodies of their parents. Why didn't Picasso depict the horrific 20th century technologies of war? Why instead is in his Guernica, did he paint a broken sword? Is that honest reporting? Where is that sword? There it is. Where are the 500,000 to a million people who died as a direct result of that war? Another question, where are they buried? It's a good question for Canadians.
All right, yeah, that's very relevant.
Yeah. In fact, just a little aside, since I do have students in Canada, one student reported that in Toronto, his school every morning begins by reminding students that they are living on First Nations land.
That is everywhere in Canada. That is everywhere. That is the brainwashing to soften the public up or the future generations into UNDRIP, the United Nations
Yes.
Designated Rights of Indigenous People. I finally remember what that stood for. It's such a horrible acronym,
Right.
but that's part of the plan to give all the land, private property, back to
Mhm.
the Indians, and then have the what do you call them? What do you call them? The powers that should not be, the
The WCC.
WCC, that and they'll manage the land on their behalf.
Yeah.
That's
It,
part of the whole scam of no more private property.
it's also, I mean, the UNDRIP acronym is another joke. I think an economics joke, because we have it's a drip down economics, trickle down, drip down.
I don't doubt it.
And
I
so
don't doubt it at
they're not
all.
going to drip on us anymore. There's nothing more. And it's going to be reverse trickle. Goodbye, everything. Anyway,
But
also,
that's a real thing that they're gonna do. I really believe that.
yeah, it looks that way.
And don't forget, young people are for it because they don't have any land anyway. They got nothing to gain, or excuse me, nothing to lose.
Yeah, but there's so many immigrants in Canada. They don't understand what is with all the attention to uh, First Nations people who they don't see anywhere.
Well,
They don't get it.
they're all in the land, yeah,
Yeah.
or on the reservation. I mean,
Yeah. Another report. They're reading the stuff in classes too. It's all Aboriginal, First Nations novels and stories. I was going to say, one student was called into the office to squeal on a teacher. He refused. That teacher has already been reported for speaking about immigration and racism in ways not supported by the school.
is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Welcome to school. Anyway,
Pretty disgusting.
yeah, it is. I'm glad I was never accepted. I was accepted once into teachers college. I had to delay, and then when I called them back a year later, they said no thanks. They shut the door on me, and it was a blessing in disguise.
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah. But back to the Civil War and Picasso. In 1937, hundreds of Spanish Republican fighters and foreign international brigades volunteers were buried in Fuencarral Cemetery, where a large plaque hung on the cemetery wall to honor their sacrifice. That respect did not last. In 1941, 2 years after General Franco's victory, their remains were excavated from the cemetery and thrown into an unmarked mass grave. Although the precise location of the mass grave is unknown, local people and historians have long believed it lies very close to Fuencarral Cemetery. Jeez, sounds like Canada. Um, did anyone actually die during the Spanish Civil War? Was it nothing more than fear porn for the masses? Did the anarchists and other rebels surrender merely because newspapers frightened them with fake reports of war? In his Guernica, why did Picasso place illegible text, possibly newspaper text, inside the form of his screaming horse? You see that? If you look at it closely, these lines of scribbles are actually like newspaper text, and it's inside the form of the horse. I think he knew that he was part of the media machine, spewing lies, and it's in the horse. It's the Trojan horse, I guess. It's not what you think it is. Here's this character on the top right, in the maw of a beast. There's 3 teeth there, maybe a tongue, I don't know. And there's a window, or is that a book, a simplified book? Again, text, another part of the media. All these broken women and these people defaced, does portraying people in such a, what's the right word, distorted and ugly manner. Is that a good way to express sympathy? Why does her foot need to be the size of a boulder? How does this communicate grief, sympathy, and outrage? It certainly doesn't. We have a bull here. Pourquoi? The
Hmm.
bull. Well, it's associated with sacrificial cults. Mithra, I guess. Zoroastrianism, back to Zarathustra. Um,
Zarathustra. Oh, right.
yeah, he's the prophet of Zoroastrianism. Um,
Okay.
we have an arm extended with a little lamp, trying to shine light on what's happening. But the dominant light is the Illuminati light. Uh, well, let me read through the rest. Maybe I have some other nuggets,
Okay.
and then we'll move on. His screaming horse. Does it mean that no one understood what newspapers screamed? Was his message that the media is a screaming, dangerous Trojan horse? Is this why his horse's mouth contained a dagger instead of a tongue? Oh, I failed to point that out. It's so small here. Yeah, could hurt you with that. It's speaking with a dagger. Oh, just like, in Revelation, the book of Revelation starts with Jesus with a sword as a tongue, a sword in his coming out of his mouth. Or into it's, I'm not sure it's clear, like a circus act, swallowing a sword. Maybe it's going the other way. Yeah, I mentioned that here. Perhaps we can say Picasso painted with a dagger dipped in fake blood and real poison. On the top right of Guernica, a monstrous mouth appears to be swallowing a flailing man. His hands are extended between his hands, but beyond reach is a hole or window that resembles a book. Is the message that books betrayed people, that they do not offer solutions or escapes? I think I covered most of this just without having to read it. All the characters have two eyes, but we have that single Illuminati eye on top. It is not one of the people. The bull is one of the people. It has two eyes like all of us. All right. Who's next on the chopping block? Rivera, a Mexican, much revered Rivera, who painted these large, I don't think my screen can make it larger, these large murals, one
Yeah.
of which I saw I saw this one in Mexico City. And I said to myself, wow, this guy was one of them, obviously. What a disturbing picture. Um, I need to find a better a copy to enlarge for us. Would you mind if I dig it up from?
No, go for it. What's it called? I can look for it.
Okay, good. It's called. Oops. Dream of Sunday Afternoon in Alameda.
Sunday. Okay, in Alameda Park. Okay. I got it right here. Let's see. Diego Rivera's. Oh, wait, that's not it. Okay, I got it right here on my screen. So I'll share this. And open image, new tab. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. If you can focus on the center, just enlarge it a bit. Yeah, move it a little to, yeah, right. So we get the skeleton
Oh, here it is.
bigger there, right? So
They love skeletons in
they do. It's crazy. They paint them on school walls and skulls. Um,
there.
Crazy stuff.
Oh, it's got the serpent on it.
Yeah,
And the bunny ears?
but yeah, if you can scroll up so that this boy is not covered, or the other way, sorry. Yeah, the boy in the middle, he has a little serpent coming out of his pocket, but I don't see it right now.
This kid here to his left?
Yeah, that is supposed to be the artist himself, painted as a child.
Yeah. Where's the serpent? Here?
Uh,
Here?
I really can't see it right now.
I can't see. What pocket is it coming out?
Uh,
Right here?
could be, could be. And behind him, this lady here. Oops,
Mhm.
I'm not sharing. So the lady behind him
Yeah.
is the famous, most famous Mexican artist.
Hmm.
What's her name again? Someone, please.
What she got in her hand? The yin yang ball?
Yeah, the
You see
uh,
it?
Greta. No, sorry. Most famous Mexican artist. He's painted. Her portrait is everywhere. Frida Kahlo. Thank you,
Okay.
Frida
Frida
Kahlo.
Kahlo.
And
Who
she
said that?
has. She's famous for Mr. E. Would love. He should really cover her because if
Frida
there's
Kahlo.
yes, um, she is a ringer for a transgender. If I ever saw one, um, they made much ado about her accident in a bus when she was young, very damaging, and so she went to the hospital. And I think they just did a transgender surgery on her, and she was not injured at all in this imaginary, undocumented bus accident. But she's she's wildly pitied because she suffered so much on account of the bus accident. Lots of pictures of her lying in bed, um, pictures of her with her cast and such. But I don't think anything ever happened to her. She had male visitors coming, I think, from overseas, big names, Europeans. I think they were curious to try a little, um, if I can call it sex.
Okay.
Um, if we let me remind myself, scroll to the far right,
Okay.
and there is a soldier there with a baton and
This guy, the red thing?
with one arm. He's dressed in blue, and one hand is on the shoulder of a native Mexican with a giant
Oh,
sombrero.
this guy.
Um, right, right. If you can,
Hold on, I'm trying to zoom in. This is a useless piece of software.
yeah, just a little farther.
Okay, right, that guy?
Yes, yeah.
Looks like a black guy.
It looks almost like a black, nah, or Chinese. I don't know, but um, and he painted the native people so ugly. I think people from the um, what's that peninsula called in Mexico anyway? Maybe
Baja?
no, the other one in the south,
Yucatan?
Yucatan. Yes,
You were up there. You should remember that.
yes, but I had a bad experience, so it's
Okay.
carefully repressed. Um, yeah, what is the point of that picture? If you see the white man behind the shoulder of the enforcer, the police officer, what is the expression on his face? It's like, yeah, yeah, I like this. Very good, very good. Keep oppressing the native people. You see that
Mm-hmm.
with the black hat?
Oh, yeah. The guy behind him.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He's looking in a little contemptuously at the native people.
Well, look at this little kid below is not too happy.
No, Mexican politics is full of people who are admitted or known Freemasons, unlike what we have in Canada and the US. It's a bit more subtle there. Over here, it's just in your face almost. But
Mm-hmm.
it still doesn't matter. People don't get it. Well, let's move on to another one. We're going into very modern art.
Okay.
Am I sharing now?
You are right now.
Okay.
Boom. Hagen's Meat.
Hagen's Meat, isn't that
Who's Hagen?
funny? Isn't that the ice cream company?
Haagen Dazs.
Hagen's, yeah. So, and Hagen of Gunther von Hagens, an anatomist, businessman, and inventor of plastination, a process used to preserve the fresh appearance of corpses. He launched Body Worlds. I saw it, or I saw a exactly copy of it in Korea. Disgusting. A traveling exposition of real human corpses, sans skin, and their organs. Does this qualify as fine art? Honestly, knowing what passes for fine art in the postmodern art world, body worlds could appear in almost any contemporary gallery without provoking any questions. Of course, it's beyond questionable and truly disgusting, at least to people such as me, but I can't argue against Body World's rightful place in the world of postmodern art, and I can already hear art critics defensively commenting. Body World reveals who we really are. Fearless exhibit of human anatomy challenges traditional, outmoded notions of what is beautiful. Baloney. Body World is a sick man's effort to capitalize on people's morbid inclinations and their foolish fascination with death and their need for more and more shocking images in order to feel. Very relevant for FAK1223 and all the coverage of the fake violence that people seem to love, or not love, but keeps them mesmerized somehow, at least. So there's a nice example of the butcher shop, so-called real bodies. World's largest collection of cadavers. Shockingly, the corpses displayed in Corpse World are real corpses from China. Why from China? Perhaps that very advanced nation has weaker regulations for the use of unclaimed corpses and executed prisoners. Who knows? I have some questions for Gunther, the artist. Gunther, what did you do with the skins you removed? And will your next exhibition feature corpses with skin but meticulously deboned so that they look like sagging bags of meat? That would be clever, wouldn't it? What kind of man dreams of seeing corpses without their skin? A Satanist, a cannibal, a man who belongs to a death cult? Perhaps that rhetorical question is supported by a photograph in which Gunther strikes the death or corpse pose of Osiris. No, I forget if that photograph actually exists. Or was I just joking? Incredibly, the world was not satisfied with only one body world, so very similar exhibitions were created, including one bodies, the exhibition of our bodies, the universe within in the US, okay, comma. That was in the US. Bodies revealed in the UK, another body exploration in China, mysteries of the human body in South Korea, that's the one I saw. Jintai, plastomic mysteries of the human body in Japan. Goodness, and another one in Spain. Ugh. It's like, is this coordinated by some global director of art? Probably. Can't forget the Canadians. I do like Tom Thompson, but it's only relative to other artists. Tom Thompson of the Group of Seven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Realism in art, also known as representational art and figurative art, is infantile. Oops. We look at such art and think, wow, it's so beautiful. How did he do it? Such pretty color, such talent, and those clouds and trees. I believe I could touch them. How did he do it? It's a mystery. This is not thinking, this is gawking, stating the obvious and flattering yourself with the idea that you know how to recognize talent. Might also add that people do ask questions. How did he do it? Wow. And, well, it's one question generated by a masterpiece. I think a masterpiece should do more than generate a question about how it was made or why it was made for me. Uh, the greatest painters are the worst. Consider Claude Monet's 1872 Impression Sunrise. Like Tom Thomson's 1915 Sunset, Clouds, Monet's work is infantile. It offers almost no food for thought, but I will briefly chew on what he offered. Why does his painting seem to portray an inferno, a world on fire? Let's expand that a bit for our pleasure. The sky seems to be on fire. Well, or it's just a pretty sunset. No, it's so messy. Like smoke is there too. And why was his palette limited to gray and orange? Couldn't he afford to buy other colors? Or maybe he wanted to keep his work simple by limiting his palette. And where is the richness of shape, line, and pattern we find in nature? Both paintings look like stains and puddles, giving us no food for thought, nothing to analyze, nothing to recognize, no patterns to decode and assemble, nothing to do with your brain. Yeah, pretty colors, but is it better than a real sunset? No. I've had a whole month of January here was amazing. Very pretty. Now I'm having flashbacks to high school. I had to write about Pete Mondrian, the creator of these squares. And I somehow had to, my challenge was to somehow find something profound worth discussing in these paintings. And I disappointed my teacher. I was unable to do that. Do people visit art galleries because they are hungry for meaning and hungry for mental stimulation? I suppose most people visit galleries because it is an ego-inflating ritual. They feel cultured and sophisticated, which means they enjoy the illusion of belonging to a cultured and sophisticated stratum of society. They actually invest very little mental energy into understanding the superficial art displayed for them. Really, the level of mental activity in a gallery, museum, and concert hall is not very different from the mental activity found in a place of religious worship. It's very, very passive engagement, if I can even use that word, with the art. For example, Mondrian's Meditations on the Rubik's Cube and his 1942 New York series. This is one of his New York series. So this is supposed to be an abstraction, a simplification of of New York. I guess it's the streets and the blocks.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the subway lines, the yellow line, the red line, but I don't even know.
Yeah, the yellow is going over the red, but the vertical reds are going sometimes over the yellow. What does it mean? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Fuck all. Sorry.
That's modern art, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Modern art's BS for me.
Yes. And
yeah, Hode, I did see the snake around the skeleton's neck. Yeah, we were looking for it on the boy.
Yeah, there is supposed to be one in the boy, but anyway, maybe our viewers, listeners can check that out for themselves, because that is supposed to be that boy is supposed to represent the artist himself, and well, he's holding hands with the skeleton. What does that tell us? It's sick people. It's not his grandmother's, skeleton. It's glorified, stupid Mexican skeletons everywhere. Very superficial, really, those skeletons. Death should be very deep and profound, but Mexicans never quite make it that far with their skeletons. Really, they just kind of infantilize death. Um,
Is this in one of your books?
this is in my Lucifer's Library book, which is
Erastus says modern art is just money laundering. I agree with that.
it can be, but yeah, it's also like kind of media for the bourgeoisie, the educated. Um, keep people distracted and thinking that they're sophisticated. Um, what else do we have? Jasper John's Target. This one here floating around. I wish I could pin them better. What a genius. He even let his paint drip. And, that was radical, dripping your paint. There was one artist, a contemporary, also 1950s, 60s, named Jackson Pollock, who produced entire paintings with only dripping. You can stare at them and imagine the universe of drips, a whole cosmos, but it's just drips, and it's just one act of the imagination, nothing else. Dead end. And who is this? Looks familiar. Is that the Canadian?
Yeah, I recognize that too.
That Jewish French Quebecois guy.
I don't know the names. It does. Well, it looks like it could be anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in touch with the Canadian art scene, even though I'm in Canada.
Right.
Couldn't tell you.
I was, but anyway, he's doing a kind of death pose. It's not one of the Masonic gestures. This is something a little bit more morbid. I forgot his name. There's the guy who sang the Alleluia song. And
what's it, Leonard Cohen? Is that him?
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe when he was younger.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Destroying the beautiful. Well, I'm a little note on Dadaism for those who don't know. Early 20th century. Dadaism was kind of an anti-art movement that tried to express that the world is absurd, makes no sense. Well, that was their whole purpose, to prevent us from making sense of the world. Dadaism. Its foremost proponent, Marcel Duchamp's found art piece. So these people didn't even make an effort to make something in their gallery. No, they just found art. This is still a thing. The urinal, I should capitalize it and show my respect. So he put a urinal, or more than one, in a gallery. That was radical. And of course, people came to see it. All manner of garbage has been treated as art. Recently, Italian artist Maurizio Catalan produced Comedian, a 2019 artwork that features a fresh banana affixed to a wall with duct tape. Bananas are certainly beautiful things for the stomach, but they are beautiful for our stomachs, not for our minds. Perhaps the same point should be made about still life paintings of food, which do number in the hundreds, if not thousands, especially Renaissance art. A lot, not only fruit and vegetables, but entire carcasses of animals. I should have that here too, but it's probably in another book. Digital art is the new trend for online investors who still believe this popular mantra: art is self-expression and all expressions of self are beautiful. No, the function of art is not to capture any form of self-expression. A temper tantrum is a form of self-expression, but that is not art. Although some people would actually disagree. I've seen artists fake temper tantrums and think they're being clever. No matter how good a tantrum is, not even if a painter captures it better than a camera. Edvard Munch's The Scream is not art, famous painting. It communicates nothing but despair and ugliness. It does not stimulate me to think anything except why. There is the truth. The purpose of art is to make thinking enjoyable. And that's quite a radical statement because no one has really made an effort to turn art into something that doesn't just provoke one thought, one question, no, but a whole series of mysteries that are fun to explore and think about. I hope one day to share that, my effort to achieve that. Um, there's Edvard Munch's The Scream, very famous. You want that hanging in your child's bedroom or in your dining room. Why not?
Sorry, who did that art?
Edvard Munch.
Okay.
Yeah, North. No, it's expressionism. I'm guessing 1930s, maybe 20s. You never get an artist just painting happy children dancing around and family holding hands or man and wife cuddling. No, they can't do that. That's not interesting somehow. King Charles Baphomet. The King of England loves his people. He declared war on junk food and junk medicine in 1949. Who was that? I guess that's not Charles. And in 1950, he waged war on employers who don't treat their workers as their equals. And in 1951, he waged the first war of science, which cost the lives of thousands of scientists who never apply the scientific method to validate the facts they announce and the policies their facts support. Where did I make up this stuff? How did I make up this stuff?
Mm.
In 1977, long after the Holocaust, he cried about the Jewish friends he lost during the Holocaust. When asked why he didn't cry for the hundreds of millions of lives the British Empire destroyed before he was born, he was shocked and said, "We only invaded 193 countries." Prince Charles was very available to the public and was known to swing in public playgrounds. However, he had limits. Instead of taking us into his palace and showing us his enormous royal closet of horrors, he portrays himself as a gentle nature lover who worries about overpopulation, pandemics, and global cooking. If you want to peek into the closeted heart of Charles III, it's funny numbers I gave him. Look at his watercolor paintings and note that they portray medieval like European landscapes and castles. Yeah, right there, one of his watercolors. He's trying to live in the good old days, the feudal days, maybe. Never tropical settings, never people, never a riot of green leaves and flowers with multicolored birds, butterflies, fruit trees, sparkling dew, and shimmering sunshine. Now, these people are anti-nature.
Oh well, yeah, they want to. He has the Earth Charter. They worship nature.
Yeah, yeah. Why isn't this painting green? Um, they they worship nature. Well, um, that's a little deceptive, isn't it? They want us to worship the idea that they will help protect nature from us because somehow humans can't live in harmony with nature. Um, well, they gave us the Industrial Revolution. What was I going to say?
We got it. We're at the hour mark, so we gotta have to wrap it
Yeah,
up.
yeah, this is the last page. Charlie speaks highly of nature and portrays himself as its savior. So he should be outside, dressed in breeches, planting trees, and bragging about his dirty fingernails.
Mhm.
Instead, he locked himself in his royal closets. Recently, a great artist offered some insight into his heart. Well, I was a bit deceived. I still have to revise this. In the first commissioned painting of the king, he does not wear a crown or hold the usual royal paraphernalia. Paraphernalia? Instead, he is dressed in his military uniform, which is still decorated with the ornaments of such secret societies as the Knights Templar. The monarch butterfly above his right shoulder, right here.
Mind control.
Yeah. Um, represents secret mind control programs such as MK Ultra. Upon close inspection, the messy red background reveals demonic, ghost-like, black-eyed faces. Well, he's black-eyed too. Can't really.
Black-eyed Charlie.
Yeah. And possibly a floating eye. And if the painting is reversed and the versed, I'm making up words, the versed and reversed copies are abutted, we get an image of Baphomet, the satanic goat. So this is supposed to be the two eyes, the snout, the mouth, and the horn, the giant horn coming up, I suppose. Um, it's a small stretch, but it's kind of convincing. Um, Charles's masters or co-conspirators know that. Oh wait, I skipped a paragraph. No, his co-conspirators know that kings were traditionally kine, as I've discussed before, sacrificial meat. Kings were never, what's the word, agents of power or decision makers. That is one reason the painting is colored a searing red, as if Charles were being cooked in his own blood. The cryptic allusion to Baphomet, the goat, is another clue that the creators were aware of the royal cannibal tradition. After all, goats are eaten by people. Charles will always be remembered for his great joke that he was descended from Vlad the Impaler, a man who crucified people on stakes. After which Charlie dropped this occult pun. So I do have a bit of a stake in my country. Steak also being also being food, a slice of meat, but also like he's saying, I am killing my country by putting a stake through the heart. I do have a bit of a stake in the country of England. Oh, funny guy. There's Baphomet. It's hard to find old pictures of him. I guess they invented this character in the 19th century. I think this is relevant to what I've been discussing about human sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
They dehumanize a person here by having his head as a goat. We've got the positive and the negative signs, the anode and the diode, the electrodes, two snakes there. Is he on a throne of some sort? I don't know. There's a fire on his head, and sometimes he's holding a torch. So, and of course, he's not man or woman. Well, so that's another way to dehumanize someone. He's not really human. And so the purpose might not be just to confuse us sexually, but just for them to dehumanize us as they mistreat us and sometimes eat us. A little poetry.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, had to end.
they get a high fat content if they want to eat us these days.
Yeah, exactly. I think they still got their farms running somewhere. Clean humans.
You know about the King's Earth Charter, don't you?
Not in detail. I think I've heard about it.
Yeah, that's his Bill of Rights for the Earth, which he prioritizes over humans. That's really what this whole dehumanization is all about.
Yeah, it's big land grab, and somehow
Yeah.
they can't figure out how we can live in harmony with nature. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they think we're killing the Earth.
Well, we're not doing so well. We could do a lot better, but they don't seem to be aware of that.
Or they are.
Yeah, but they don't want to go that way. They'd like to keep the beast system running.
Exactly. Well, just so people know.
Oh yeah. I prepared for it actually. I got that one moment. So
What's that? What do you got? Oh, you got your last screen?
my book list. Yeah.
Oh, your book list. Yeah.
Sometimes I just forget it, even in my homemade presentations.
If you want to get Peter's books,
Yeah.
I'm sure Pete Shea wants to get your books.
Yeah, the holy spells, all religions, religious scriptures, and some architecture, criminal Bible, just about mostly the Bible and Christianity, counterfeit classics, Greek, Roman, and medieval European texts, and some architecture, Lucifer's library, and from today's focus.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Erica. She likes the discussion. Thank you. Yeah, Peter did all the discussing, not me.
Yeah, I gave you a break.
I appreciate that.
Encyclopedia Commedia, which is much more far-ranging and touches on psychology, revises psychology really, and philosophy, not only history. The Holy Comedy, it's still under construction, but it's coming along really well. It's fiction, experimental comedy, and contact information should anyone be interested.
All right, and I created a link. It's Peter at fakeologist.com. Peter at fakeologist.com. You can find him there. Or he has his own links there. Where is this web page that we're looking at?
It's not a web page, no. This is just stuff from my computer. I haven't had a website for a long time.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Peter, for the Prophet of Fiction. I appreciate this. And thanks for joining. And I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that Peter has contributed to FAK12, FAK1223-POF-Great which is right here, the Mexican cartel comedy, and the Carnival comes to Tumbler Ridge. So, is there any more fallout from the so-called cartel battles, or is that just a one-day story that's now being replaced by Iran?
I think you're right. It's been replaced, but Mexicans are still living it. Really, it's outside of Mexico. It's history now, I guess. But I had lunch with some of my mother's friends, my friends, and they're still,
they're still all terrorized.
Yeah, well, it's far away, but they believe it's real. They talked about it, and they know someone who.
Oh boy!
Who couldn't get a flight out, and
well, everyone knows somebody because they canceled them for a day.
Yeah,
but I guess that's what makes it real.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And the media, those great artists who give us the media, the news.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what made it real. That the flights were canceled.
Yeah. Distortions of reality.
Yeah.
Brought to you on your flat screen.
Exactly. All right. Fakeologist.com, fakeologist.com/donate. Please help out if you want to contribute to this ongoing discussion and website. Peter, thanks a lot. Happy March, and we'll see you in a week.
Excellent.
With the next show.
Yeah.
And also on Fakeologist FAK1223-POF-Great with your latest.
Yeah, I will be doing a couple things this week.
All right, you also have your own YouTube channel. I guess we forgot to pair it,
Yeah,
but you can
it's-
find your stuff over there.
I will upload it tomorrow.
Okay, next time let's try and pair it again, if you don't mind.
I could try again. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
All right, have a good one. Take care, and see everybody. I got to work on moving the website now and the forums. I noticed the forums get crapped out in 2 days too, so I got to hurry up. And if Tim Osmond doesn't show up tomorrow, I'll just work on my website. I think I got to do that. All right, see everyone. Bye-bye.